Okay, good evening, ladies. Welcome to the YL.net. This is Catherine, AC4YL Net Control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We ask that only YLs or female ham radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other, enhance our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. During the net, be sure to join us in the NFARL Do-Drop-In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name -- call sign in the box and click log in. YLs who would like to check in, please give us your call sign, name, and current location, and don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo Hotel Golf, April from Welland, Ontario, Canada.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform, Carol in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, where it's pouring rain all day long. It's relentless.
This is WA4YL, Dawn from Florida.
AE7MB, Margaret, Battleground, Washington.
Okay, very good. We'll start with those check-ins. So far, we have April, VE3BHG in Ontario. Good evening. Carol, VA3WHU, also in Ontario. Dawn, WA4YL in Florida. And Margaret, AE7MB in Washington. Okay. Who else do we have that would like to check in this evening? Please call now, AC4YL.
KC8PKY, Linda, Knox, Indiana.
This is AC1EW, Alicia in Wakefield, Massachusetts.
This is Kilo Alpha 1, United Lima, November, Nisi, Andover, Mass, and Alicia. Me and Alicia, we do Parks on the Air. She's about 7 miles just south of me.
Okay, let's see. Also joining us, I see Linda, KC8PKY, joining us from Indiana. Good evening. Alicia, AEC1EW, joining us from Massachusetts, and Nisi, KA1ULN, also joining us from Massachusetts. I see some other YLs here on Echolink, but I have not heard them check in. I see Rosemary, KB4RM, so good evening to you, Rosemary in Texas, and Jenny, M0HZT in the UK. Good morning, Jenny, if you're over there and awake. Perhaps they stepped away for a moment and will be back, but they're still connected, so that's cool. Maybe they're just listening in. We have both of you in the log if you are copying us, okay? So that is awesome. I see we have the Bedford, Virginia K4LYL repeater linked in here, so do we have any YLs listening in on that repeater that would like to check in? Please call now. Okay, not hearing anyone else. I see Susie just popped in here. Good evening, Susie. And Melanie is here with us. So we have both of you gals in the log. And I think that is everyone. I see Lauren's got her repeater linked in here. Awesome. Okay, I think that's everybody. And don't worry, if you didn't check in earlier, you'll have an opportunity to do so in a bit here. So let's see. So what we'll do real quick here is we'll go down the check-in list and give you gals a chance to tell us how you've been, what you've been up to. And if you have a topic suggestion for this evening or a question that you want us to try and cover this evening, go ahead and bring it up as we go down the check-in list, and we'll make a note of that. And if not, that's okay. If you just want to say hello and tell us how you're doing, what you've been up to, that's cool. I do have some information that Susie had actually suggested, and I hadn't had an opportunity to look at that before last week's net, but I have had a chance to look at it before this week's net, and she had suggested a brief little article that was in the November QST issue, and so we'll go through that because it's actually kind of interesting. So thanks, Susie, for that suggestion. We'll go through that after we go down the check-in list. So let's go ahead and start at the top here. So just real quick, let's see, just a reminder before I forget, the time changes on Sunday. So that means that whoever here in the States observes daylight savings time will be changing back to standard time. So what that means is we will roll back 1 hour. So this net will still be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but for folks in the UK or in Australia or anywhere that does not observe daylight savings time or goes off this net by UTC time, it will change to -5 UTC. Let me pause for reset. Okay, so what that means is this net, instead of being at 0000 UTC on Friday, it will actually be at 0100 on Friday morning, which equates to 8 o'clock in the evening Thursday for us here on the East Coast. So just a heads up, so hopefully everybody will have that straight for next week. And I'll try to get some reminders as well on the Facebook group to help everybody remember that. But 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, for those of us in the States, that's not going to change next week. So just a reminder there. Okay, very good. So here we are in November. So we've got November Sweeps that's coming up this month. And here in Georgia, we've got the Stone Mountain Ham Fest going on this weekend. I'm not really sure if I'm going to make it to that one. I know Melanie has to work, so she's not going to make it. But another really cool event that we have going on here in the month of November is an event called Ham Jam. And you guys can check out what that's all about. Just go to hamjam.info. It's an event that several clubs here in Georgia put on together, and the whole purpose of the event is to support youth programs here, youth education and scholarships, and encourage them to participate in amateur radio and electronics and those kinds of activities. So to attend is free. There are door prizes, and then there's also raffle prizes where you can purchase tickets to win those, and they usually have a lot of really good prizes for that, and a lot of them you do not have to be present to win. So, but all of the money that comes from that goes straight to youth programs and scholarships. So just wanted to share that. hamjam.info if you want to check it out. This year one of the speakers will be Jerry, which a lot of you have probably seen her Carol Malazzo posted on several of the YL Facebook groups that she went out and did a presentation in Pacificon. So she'll be out here in Georgia in the month of November. So looking forward to hearing her at Ham Jam. So check it out, hamjam.info. Okay, well, that's enough for me for now, so let's go to April, VE3BHG. April, how are you doing, and what have you been up to over the last week or so, and anything coming up that you're looking forward to participating in?
Okay, all right. I just had to wait for a technical glitch. Anyways, yes, it is raining here as well. It's been raining off and on all day, Carol, and I am sure I heard hail. I don't know if it's hailing where you are, but I thought I heard some earlier. It was okay for the kids last night. It was drizzly, but that doesn't usually keep them away. I don't usually shell out because my next door neighbor goes completely bananas over Halloween. Which brings me to a question. I don't know how many of you ladies might have participated in witches around the world. I didn't get into it, but we had our regular NParkNet last night, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything, because there's a meeting second Wednesday now, so that's not until the 14th. But I did see the cardiologist on Wednesday, and I got a clean bill of health. He said, well, you know, your heart does kind of have a few extra beats once in a while, but he says it's something to be aware of, not something to worry about. But he says, if anything changes, let me know. So far, so good. On the 9th, I have a consult with a gastroenterologist, I guess they call him. Just the consult. And I'm hoping that if he's going to do a test, he'll do it after Christmas so I can enjoy the holidays. But we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know what his schedule's like. Let's see. Nothing much else except I've been knitting like a mad fiend. It's Christmas time now, so if I want to do little giveaway things, I have to start doing them right now because it's like only a couple of months away, and you know, it gallops by more quickly than you think. Of course, going to wait until after Remembrance Day to put up my decorations, and I hope all of you do that too. Because of course my sister served in the armed forces as a chaplain, so you know, if she found out that I put my deck up early, she would be very displeased. Anyways, that's all the news that fits print for now, so I'm going to turn it over to Catherine, AC4YL from VE3BHG. Thank you.
All right, very good, April. Well, glad you got some good news from the cardiologist. That's always encouraging and better to know what's going on. So, awesome. I wouldn't do any up the stairs marathons, but other than that, that's great. Glad you're doing well there and taking care of that. And it's good to hear from you as always. And yeah, I mean, sheesh, it's already beginning of November. The end of the year will be here before we know it. So we got Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all that good back-to-back stuff, so keep everybody real busy, right? All right, very good. Well, it's great to hear from you, April, as always, and hope you can stick around here. Do we have anybody, I forgot to ask, do we have anybody that is short time that will need to leave the net early and would like to go ahead and tell us how they're doing and say hello to the gals beforehand? So if you'd like to, please come on in. AC4YL. Okay, not hearing anyone, so awesome. Okay, then we will keep on going down the list. So next up is Carol, VA3WHU. Carol, how are you doing, and what's going on out your way? I know you got some rain going on. We've got some of that here today, too. It's been cloudy and breezy and dreary and a little bit on the chilly side, although it did warm up. But we definitely get the rain thing here. Back over to you, VA3WHU, AC4YL on the net.
Good evening, ladies. Victor Alpha 3 Whiskey Hotel Uniform here. Yeah, Carol. I did participate in the CQ Worldwide contest last weekend. I made 25 contacts over the weekend, so I was really happy about that. I operated my Yaesu FTDX 1200, and it worked like a charm. I have a mystery antenna. My husband was using his G5RV. He made some contacts on the contest as well, so it was a very nice time had there. So I got a clean bill of health from my family doctor, so I'm just waiting for my organization to get back in touch with me through our human resources personnel to see where I'm going to go from here in the organization. Just start back part-time and then work my way back up to where I was, and not rushing it and not rushing into anything at this time. Some sad news, my girlfriend that I've worked with, she's been with the company that I'm with for 15 years. I got a message on Facebook today from one of my co-workers, and she's in the hospital with her cancer, 60 years old. So Brian and I rushed up to the hospital this morning to visit with her. We had a nice visit. Anyway, that's besides the point. I'm hoping that everybody on the net is well. Yeah, Christmas will be here, and April's right. No decorations to go up before Remembrance Day, which is on a Sunday this year, November the 11th. And this coming Sunday, the 4th of November, we have our staff Christmas party at the Royal Hamilton Yacht Club. So after being off for 3 months, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing people again there. And of course, anybody that knows from England, Jenny, if you're on the air, you'll know that November the 5th is Guy Fawkes Day. There's something for you to Google, Catherine. VA3WHU, back to net.
All right, awesome, Carol. Well, so glad that you got the A+ on the health rating there. That is great. And yeah, glad you're able to get going and get back to work. I know that makes the world of difference. You know, it's you get used to a routine, and when things kind of throw that routine off, sometimes it makes things a little complicated. So glad you'll be things are going good for you, and that you're doing well, and very smart to take your time going back and not rush into things. That's a smart way to go for sure. So glad they're able to work with you. I hope you have a really nice time with your coworkers there for your office Christmas party. That's always fun. Very good. And awesome on the CQ Worldwide. So glad you were able to participate in that contest. Fantastic. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play this past weekend, but definitely going to make arrangements to play November Sweeps coming up this month for sure. In fact, this upcoming weekend is the CW portion of that. So for you gals that are learning CW and you want to get some practice time in there, you know, even if you don't feel like sending, you can certainly get some practice time in receiving and trying to see how many call signs you can catch there as you listen around the bands there for Earl Sweeps November CW. So cool, very good. All right, next up is Dawn, WA4YL. Dawn, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good, and the weather's been nice here. It's finally cooled off, thank goodness. We're able to wear long pants and not sweat. And I'm sitting out here on my porch with Chris and enjoying the evening. And hope everybody else is doing good. And I really wished I could have been up at the Ham Fest, but I have other things going on. And I'm sitting here with my new puppy. Her name is Sasha.
All right, awesome, Dawn. Hey, have you guys set a date at all, or are y'all planning on a Hamvention wedding next year?
No, I haven't set a date yet. We're just taking our time. But when we do set the date, we will let everybody know. Back to you, Catherine, WA4YL.
All right, awesome, Dawn. Well, you know, Hamvention next year is an ARRL National Convention. So, you know, that would give you guys 6-7 months to plan it out there. No pressure, right? I'm just teasing you guys. All right, awesome, Dawn. Well, glad you guys are doing well, and you got your puppy hanging around with you. That's fun. And glad you guys are getting some cooler weather. It's kind of funny hearing them talk about wearing long pants without sweating. That cracks me up. All right, awesome. Next up is Margaret, AE7MB. How are you doing, Margaret? AC4YL in the net.
Well, good evening, ladies, and good morning, Jenny. I guess she's gone again. Let's see what's going on here. Well, today was a kind of dry day. Yesterday it poured, of course, for Halloween, and we had quite a bit of rain last week also. But today's nice, and I'm just finishing up the November-December harmonics, so that'll be going off to Cheryl for printing and distribution probably tomorrow. It's been a very interesting experience. I've figured out that I've done 6 newsletters for YLRL in the last 9 months. I've also done 2 newsletters for the Minnows in the last 9 months. So I'm keeping myself busy. Now it's time to go back to quilting. So with that, I will turn it back over to everybody else. And how about the directory? The directory went to Cheryl 2 months ago, so you'll have to ask Cheryl what's happened to it. This is AE7MB, back to net.
All right, very good, Margaret, and good evening to Ann, WB1ARU. We got you in the log. Awesome. All right, yeah, Margaret, sounds like you're staying busy, keeping tabs on things, and you know, those newsletters, if you're not careful, can take over your life. No, it's good. It's good, you know, volunteer if you got the time to put that together, and that is not a small task. It does really take a lot of work, so certainly appreciate that. I remember when I was secretary for the local club here, which is not a small club. We have over 300 members, and I would attend their board meetings and do the minutes. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, a stickler for like a really nice format. So it would take me a good long chunk of time to complete that. But you know, it's worth it in the end, and I put my year in, so that's good, right? All right, very good, Margaret. Well, we appreciate all the hard work you do to get that together, and that is awesome. I hope the MinnoNet is doing well. I try to remember to remind everybody about that. And before I forget, I think it was April that brought up the question about Witches Around the World event. So if any of you gals are participating in that, please feel free to comment about that as we go down the list here. I forgot to kind of reiterate that too, so I didn't want to forget about that. All right, awesome. Let's check in with Linda, KC8PKY. Welcome back, Linda. Glad to have you back on this week. How are you doing? KC8PKY, AC4YL with the group.
Good evening, this is KC8PKY. I'm doing well. 2 weeks ago was our local club meeting, and then last week I just wasn't feeling it. Last Thursday we lost a dear friend, so I had to kind of just chill back, but decided to get back on today. And we've been working on an antenna project, but the weather isn't cooperating. We're putting up a 160-meter antenna. Now, we got the center point up in the tree, and there are 2 trees perfectly placed for it. But of course it's been raining, so we're hoping Saturday we're going to get it done, because they say the weather's supposed to be better on Saturday. Other than that, there's really not much going on here, so I'll turn it back to you, KC8PKY. Now let me get out of here.
Okay, very good, Linda. Well, I hope the weather cooperates for you on Saturday. It seems everybody's running into some interesting weather this week, so I hope everybody has a nice weather weekend and get some stuff done. So fantastic. Well, we're glad to have you back here with us, and sorry for your loss there. But it's good to hear from you, and glad that you guys are doing well up there. So we miss you when you're not here. All right, next up is Alicia, AC1EW. Alicia, how are you doing? AC4YL with the group.
Hi there, everyone. This is AC1EW. I'm doing well. I did jump in on the CQDX contest on Sunday, and was quite pleased. I made 43 QSOs, picked up some countries that I hadn't gone before. Right now, I'm working on basically a low power rig here. I have a Yaesu FT991 radio, and I live in a condo, so there's a limitation on putting up radios. I mean, I do have a little bit of privacy behind the house going into the woods. Last year I had a wire antenna. I've had a lot more luck with putting up a hamstick dipole on a spider beam that I just raise when I need to use it. That has been fantastic as far as reaching other countries, but I'm concerned about the winter. I really won't be able to use the spider beam in the winter time. I'm trying to think of other options that would be better than the end-fed wire, but still somewhat non-obvious, so that I can keep on the air during the winter time. They are putting in a big, I think it's like a 365 kilovolt power line right behind our house, buried in the ground. I'm a little bit concerned about what interference that might create, but hopefully it won't. Anyway, that's it for me. Back to the net now.
All right, very good, Alicia. Well, yeah, those hand-stick dipoles, they really work well, don't they? I know Melanie and I used one for all our National Parks on the Air activations in 2016, and we still use it sometimes for portable, although now we're playing with an alpha antenna, Easy Military 2.0, although I think they changed the name of it. I don't recall what the new name is off the top of my head, but that antenna is a lot of fun. It's more portable, and we got the tripod, nice lightweight tripod with it, and it's really, really easy to set up, deploy, and use. And Easy Military 2.0 is supposed to be something you can quickly deploy in an emergency situation and get on the air with it. And so we have a lot of fun utilizing it. But I'm sure if you want to see more about it, you can go to alphaantenna.com and check it out. And if we can find it, either Melanie or myself will post a link to it so that you guys can know what that antenna is all about. And if anybody has any antenna suggestions for Alicia, I probably wouldn't be that much help because I don't know antenna ideas that would hold up in the more winter weather that you guys get up there, because I'm in Georgia and we don't generally get too much winter weather except for the wonderful, fun, freezing rain. So anyway, very good to hear from you, Alicia. And again, if anybody has any antenna suggestions that would work well for her in her situation, being in a condo, that would work well throughout the winter months, please keep that in mind, and you can either share it if we haven't gotten to you yet with going down the check-in list, or we can circle back around to it after we're done with that. So next up is Nisi, K-A-1-U-L-N. How are you doing?
I am awesome, Kat. So me and Alicia and I, we have, let's see, on the books, I don't think it's been documented that we've activated Parks on the Air, but we've gone to, I think, 5 different sites, and one of them was totally bad. I think I mentioned it on the net here one night that it was near water. We're trying to stay near water because we're on the water and we're on the East Coast. What was near the water? So we were between water and a cemetery, and the water is good, but the cemetery is very bad. I don't know. So everybody, I'm talking about Parks on the Air. Nisi and Alicia. We've been doing pretty good this summer, and we're gonna probably do maybe 2 more before the white stuff starts coming down. We were just planning it now. Anyway, I want you to. Alicia mentioned the Spider Beam, SPIDERBEAM.US. That is amazing. Alicia had one, and I had to buy one too. It is a telescope, a 40-foot telescoping mast. It is truly incredible. You can put that's where she puts her 2 40-meter ham sticks on that. I actually put an infed on it. I've put a beam on it. It's just incredibly awesome. So spiderbeam.us. They come in 40 feet. There's actually a 120-foot telescoping mast. Can you imagine having a 120-foot telescoping mast, and it all telescopes into about 3 feet? The 40-foot one is the more let's see, is less costly. Is the least costly. It's definitely doable. Let me just reset just one more thing, and I'll come back real quick. So K-A-1-U-L-N. So that's what we use with Parks on the Air. And if you don't know about Parks on the Air, you should check it out. The website is www.parksontheair.com. And I think a couple of weeks ago, Melanie and Catherine, they posted a couple other sites that you can go to when you're working Parks on the Air. I would highly recommend everybody here to, if you want to increase your skills in amateur radio, I would definitely try. Even if it's in your backyard or in your car, in the back of your car, and you leave your house, don't use anything from the house. It's truly amazing and will make you learn triple what you know already. It's almost like setting up your own little field day. It's truly amazing, and you'll learn so much. Like, I would never know that it's working close to a cemetery does not work. I would guess the radio waves, radio frequencies get bounced off of each headstone. I don't know for sure, but we could not make one QSO near a cemetery. And the other side was water, which is supposed to be very good. All right, so nice to see everybody here on the net tonight. Happy November. AC4YLK1ULN. Thanks so much for running the net, Catherine.
Well, thanks, Nisi, and I couldn't agree more with your comments about just going portable, however you want to do it, wherever, in your backyard, at a local park, go drive your car to a parking lot somewhere. Just get out and operate portable, because you will. I agree. You learn so much. I know Melanie and I learned a lot doing those national park activations, even getting staged and set up to try and play one of the contests during Huntsville Hamfest weekend for the first time we went, and the CQ Worldwide contest was going on, or was it North American CQ Party? Might be NAQP going on that weekend, and we wanted to play, and so that led us into a whole, what antenna do we use, and what radio are we bringing, and you start going through and you think through this list, and you'll know, because if you start out, go somewhere close, so that way when you get there and realize you forgot something, you didn't drive a long distance and not be able to operate. So start small, like Nisi suggested. Go in your backyard. You'll learn all about operating on emergency power, experimenting with different antennas, making a list of what equipment you need and what tools you need, and you'll find that the amount you pack might get lighter the more you learn how to be more efficient at portable operations. So there's so much to learn and do, and so many things that maybe you didn't think about when you can just operate at home, that you have to kind of think about when you're out on the road. So thanks, Nisi, for all your comments and encouragement on getting out there and operating portable, working parks. And yes, the links are still on the WildOpNet Facebook group for any of the gals listening that may not have been on that net. The links are posted on there still. And we got the link for spiderbeam.us here in the chat as well. So everybody has that. I found the two alpha antenna systems that are actually very similar, except one has a bag and the whips fold down tighter on one. They end up being the same total length. Those are the only two differences between those two, so check those out as well. Okay, very good. Awesome. Let's see. Next up, I know I have Rosemarie on my list next. I don't know if she is around here with us, but Rosemarie, if you can and would like to come in and say hello to the gals and tell us how you're doing, we'll go ahead and pass the mic over to you. KB4RM, AC4YL with the group.
Oh, KB4RM, it didn't work right away. Yes, as always, I'm in dinner time here, but I have my phone, so it's very nice. I've listened to all of you. I've gotten everything, but I didn't check in because I was doing something I couldn't drop. But anyway, I'm here, and I enjoy listening, and I'm enjoying hearing everything, and Yes, I was surprised. I didn't quite get it though. The lady who wrote had a condominium and she had a spider beam. Where did she put it? I don't know if it's a condominium apartment or what, but anyway, as you know, I still have my buddy pole and my antenna on the roof. Portable, and bring it up to the roof of the garage and work. And I listened to the contest this weekend. It was very hard for me to get our net in. We have a Swedish net on. To get in. Saturday didn't work at all. Sunday we were able to have our net with a lot of QRM, of course. But it was fun to listen anyway and see how many stations I heard. I did not try to work. Otherwise, everything is fine here. Had that very big thunderstorm here last night. I mean, the lightning was constant. Yeah, and lots of rain. But today, sunny and beautiful. So, back to you there, Catherine.
All right, very good, Rosemary. Yeah, no worries. I figured you were probably in the middle of something when we were doing check-ins. I know this is your dinner time, so we're glad to have you with us and hear from you. And I'm glad the weather cleared up for you guys. And yeah, that brings up another good point. If you are just trying to get warmed up with either getting started in contesting, you can always start by just listening to some and trying to follow along with the exchange. And another great way to test your antenna system and your setup, see how many stations that you can hear and where they're located. And, you can learn a lot just by doing that. So very good, Rosemary. It's wonderful to hear from you, and it sounds like you guys are doing well out there and hanging in. So fantastic. And, Alicia was talking about she using a handstick dipole on top of a spider beam mast, and Nisi was sharing about they have all different kinds of sizes of telescoping masts that you can mount things on top of, and I think that's what Alicia was talking about earlier. All right, very good. All right, awesome. So good to hear from you, Rosemary, and always a pleasure to catch up with you. Next up is Jenny, M0HZT. Jenny, how are you doing? And good morning to you.
Good morning there, Catherine. Good morning, ladies. I'm awake.
That's a miracle.
It's a good job you've used to Mervyn, isn't it, putting in his 5 eggs. He was just looking up the spider beam. He was interested in it. I said, well, look it up then. And we like what we see. I said, we've just acquired a hex beam. Did hope to get it up before the CQ Worldwide, but we didn't manage. But I didn't do too bad. I'm just trying to submit my log. I'm having problems. It keeps saying I've got a mistake, but where? It's all as it should be. So I suppose I should have to. The thing is, it should be in. I'm running out of time, so I think I'm going to have to forget it for this year and try again next year. But never mind. These things are sent to trial. Kind of getting ready to get things organised for the 40th anniversary by Lara. It's happening next April. Hopefully we want to get the course signed for a year, and it's looking hopeful. I've just got to call the call Ofcom and set some final things. So we should have the course sign we want, which will be GB40 and BYL. And we're going to try get one from your side of the pond. That have you? So I'm leaving up to her to sort out. it's the call sign for the flat side. You all know what is allowed and what isn't allowed, so more than what I know. So yeah, it's all looking good. It's a bit cold over here though. Okay, back to you there, Catherine. Thank you for a great net.
All right, awesome, Jenny. Yeah, we can get one-by-one call signs here for special event stations. That's pretty cool. I'm just looking at the CQ Worldwide website. I'm trying to find if they have somebody specific you can contact. Yes, if you have a problem submitting your log or receive an error message that you do not understand, contact us through the contact form. So if you go to cqww.com/contact, you can fill out that form. They'll help you get your logs working right. I've just copy and pasted that into the chat. I don't know if you can get to the chat on the device you're using, but it's cqww.com/contact. Just fill that out. It's a little short form. You just give them your name, email, call sign. You can pick the subject. In your case, it would be report either a question or a concern, or they also have a request a log deadline extension. They'll help you with that, and then you can just detail out what's going on in a message box. Just type out what's up, and I would upload your log through that. Just that form will allow you to attach a file, so I would send them your log. They may be able to do it for you or help you with it. So yeah, just fill out that, and they should be able to help you and check your log and tell you what's going on so that you can get it submitted. And everybody that participated in CQ Worldwide, be sure and upload your log. You do get a certificate for just participating in it. So whether you made one contact or 350, you still get a participation certificate. So please upload your log. Make sure that they get it. That's really cool. All right, thanks, Jenny. It's so good to hear from you, and glad you guys are doing okay. So that's awesome. Okay, let me pause for a reset here real quick. All right, I think Susie left. I know I saw her type 33 earlier, and I think she had to go. Next up is Ann, WB1ARU. So Ann, how are you doing? AC4YL with the group.
Well, good evening, WB1ARU here, and been enjoying listening to everybody chatting, all the different topics, and finding out what's going on. A few sidebar conversations going on here, and that's good, and very nice. I'm happy to report that I managed to work Leah down in Oklahoma last night on the HF net, or not really a net, but anyway. What was funny is I started calling CQYL around 9 o'clock local, and had a call from, I'm trying to think where the first guy was from. I don't remember for sure, but it worked 1OM. I think he was Mississippi, but I'm not sure. And then Oklahoma, and another one in Oklahoma, and then an Italian, which must have been off Long Pass, or off the back of the beam. I'm not sure which. And another Oklahoma. Well, it turned out I was working fellows in Norman, Oklahoma, which is where Michelle lives, and Leah lives not far from there. She's right outside Norman. Well, anyway, these guys were in the same club. They all knew Michelle, and one of them called up one of them called up Michelle and said, I just talked to a friend of yours. But Leah finally got on. She was out and she got home, and so Leah and I made an HF contact, so that was good. She's the one that came up and was visiting up here in New England, and Tony and I got together with Leah and Don and took them sightseeing one day. So Anyway, it was nice to work her on the air. So that was last night, 1 YL, but that's better than no YLs, and we'll just keep plugging away. That was on 40 meters last night. So anyhow, that's my ham radio activity for yesterday or last night or whatever. So, and we had a nice day today. It's been cold. We've had a couple of freezes, and today it was 70 degrees, so go figure. WB1ARU, back to the net.
All right, awesome, Ann. Well, I'm glad you got to work Leah. That's cool, especially since you guys got to spend some time together when she was in town up your way. That's awesome. And then turn around and make an HF contact. Hey, it's always fun when you get to work somebody that, you know, you've either met on an Echolink net or you've met at a ham fest, but you've never actually been able to work them on the air. That makes it that much more fun. That's cool. Very good. And thanks for posting the frequency that you gals end up being on the Facebook group. I think that's real helpful. So please continue doing that so that, because I know it shifts a little bit depending on, you know, what frequency is available. So I think that helps a lot. And I had to take the HF antenna down for a bit, but going to try and get that back up here in the next week or so. And so try to catch up on a Wednesday one of these days soon here. And just a reminder, gals, it's every Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Usually either 20 meters, 14288, or 40 meters around 7191 to 195, somewhere up in there. Somewhere around there, but Ann will, I'm sure, keep us posted on what frequency as it shifts a little bit, so that's really cool. All right, cool. Next up is Melanie, a G4YL. So, Melanie, how have you been? What you been up to? And what you got, anything to share with the group here? A G4YL, AC4YL with the group.
Okay, AG4YL here. Yeah, I actually had some things to share with, but I'm on the tablet, so now I can't actually access them. So on QRZ, maybe Catherine can find this. On QRZ, the homepage, there was mention about Barlara. And on the news, it was on a great net. It's a British net. It's called ICQ Podcast, and it comes out of Great Britain. There's an American on there, and a couple Brits, and sometimes an Australian will be on there, but they cover some really interesting topics, and they go over, it's kind of news, but it's sort of like almost a talk show format, news format. It's hard to describe. They're very laid back. I like to put it on in the background and do stuff and listen to these guys. I really do. I like this podcast a lot. And one of the things that they talk about in there, of course, they're big on youth on the air in Europe, but they talk about an introduction to Barlara and M0BYL. There was a comment on QRZ talking about this podcast by MI0YLT. She actually started the QRZ. She's from Ireland. She's this amazing young lady from Ireland that started the YL forum on QRZ. And she made some comments that she was at the Barlara stand at Corelligus Amateur Radio Rally in Northern Ireland a few weeks ago, and it was a very good stand. So I know that Jenny at M0HZT here on the net is very involved and is a member of Balara and very involved in the stuff for them as well. But I thought it might be kind of cool because they talk about an introduction to Balara and some portable antenna reviews. I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, AG4YL returning. I know that Canada's already had their Thanksgiving celebration in the U.S. I believe it's the third Thursday, if I remember correctly, in November. And that traditionally, Thanksgiving is the U.S. one is in November, third Thursday. And traditionally, that is the day that we put up the holiday decorations. Is not before Thanksgiving here in the U.S. So you're all talking about Remembrance Day in Canada, not putting up the decorations before then, and you having your Thanksgiving earlier. It's a little bit different here in the U.S., so I thought I would just address that because I was looking up, found it kind of interesting. There was something else that I was going to comment on. Oh, yeah, that's right. The JS call. So last week, Nisi mentioned JS call, and I thought, that's interesting. I thought it was JT8 call, or JT call. Well, it was, and then they changed the name of it. And I found a really good article on it on another podcast. Maybe Catherine remembers the name of that podcast that was on. Linux in the Ham Shack. It was Linux in the Ham Shack. I knew it would come to me. That was on, I think, last week's podcast of Linux in the Ham Shack. And I was listening to it, and the gentleman that that wrote what was originally JT Call actually got on the North Fulton Amateur Radio League, one of the local clubs here, got on the Groups I/O email reflector and wanted people to start testing it out. And they just released a new, I guess you could say it's a test version. He's writing it all the time and working out the bugs all the time, and but it's fully operational. And then when Nisi mentioned JS call last week, I was like, wait a minute, I thought it was JT call. Well, they changed the name because it really has nothing to do with Joe Taylor and all that. I'm going to pause for reset, and I'll come back and finish. Okay, AG4YL here returning. So that was a couple of neat things that came up for me that I started looking at, finding out a little bit more about. And the groups.io group is how you get the software, the links to the software for JS Call. And as I said, they had one that expired on Halloween, I believe on the 31st. And the new version is up and out. Not backward compatible. He's done some changes. There's a whole change log. I subscribe to the group just so I could kind of keep up on what it is. I get the digest, so I'm sort of up on that now. So JS8 call that Nisi recommended, and she actually talked about it a month or two ago when it first kind of became known. More conversational form, very similar to FT8, but you could actually have conversations, QSOs, and one of the cool new things about it that he mentioned that he did was you can put in almost like macros, like you can bracket certain things like, SN, signal noise report, SN, and it'll plug in automatically the person that you're having a QSO with, their signal report, and it'll plug in your grid square to them. It's cool. It's just really kind of neat. So if you like FT8, but you want to have a little more personal kind of, QSO through digital, check out JS Call. Looks like a fun new thing. And I believe that's pretty much all I had to share. Hope everybody's having a great evening. And the time change, that was another thing. It goes from 0000 UTC to 0100 UTC next week. So just a reminder about that, and that is information's in the groups.io calendar. With that, pass us back to Catherine Net Control. This is AG4YL.
Okay, awesome, Melanie. Well, thanks for that information, and I think I got all the links in here so that you gals can check some of this stuff out. JS8 calls, groups.io page, put in the FO link chat, as well as the Linux and the Ham Shack JS8 call episode, so that you gals can listen to that and see if that's something that may be of interest to you. And just as a side note, I know the episode there is Linux and the Ham Shack. You do not have to have a Linux machine to play JS8 call, by the way, okay? So don't think that just because you have a Linux machine that you can't participate. You certainly can. They have a version for Windows. They have a version for Mac 10, I believe. So I think they may even have some for some other formats. So check out their groups.io pages. Those are great for lots of people post questions and lots of good information if you are interested in getting into the JS8 call digital mode. Another fun way to play radio, right? So I have both of those links in here. And let me see. Also, did I post a link to that? I did not post a link to that QRZ news thing that Melanie mentioned. I do have that. I think I have it up here. I can do that. Give me 1 second here. The forum page there. So get that in here real quick before I forget. There we go. Okay. So you gals can check that out as well. Okay. So thanks for that information, Melanie. We appreciate it, and the time reminder again for the gals that may not have been on or listening in the beginning of the net. Okay, fantastic. I think that is everybody on the list. Do we have any YLs here with us who have either A, not checked in, or B, you checked in but thought of something else, either another question or a comment for their group? Please call now, AC4YL.
Thank you for jumping back up. This Irish YL, who's supposed to by Laura Page on QRZ? No. I do know for a fact it was Sheila, G38CQ, who started that off, and she started that off since when Lara was born, and I took it over about 5 years ago, something like that. So there's only been 2 of us who've done QRZ, and until I took it over, there was nothing on the page, literally. It's only since I've been doing it that it has been filled with relevant information. Thanks, Kat.
Okay, AG4YL Hill, I'm going to comment on that real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jenny, I probably wasn't clear that she commented on the QRZ news link, if you will, to the ICQ podcast. She commented about being at the Barlara stand at the Carrickfergus Amateur Radio Rally in Northern Ireland, and really thought it was a great stand. But what she started was the YL forum on QRZ. There wasn't a YL forum on QRZ, and she actually started. Her name is Summer McCormick, MI0YLT, and her and her whole family are really into amateur radio. Her and her sister both. They're a delightful couple of YLs, and she actually has two sisters, I believe. But her name is Summer, and then there's Grace and Savannah, and her dad is also licensed as well. YLT in Summer's call stands for Young Lady Transmitting, which I think is just kind of cute, according to her QRZ page. So she actually started the YL forum. If you go to QRZ and go up to the forums, there's actually one called YL forum. But anyway, so now you know that I wasn't clear about that. But yeah, you guys, thank goodness you're taking care of the Barlara forum. That's awesome, and I know you do such a great job. But I thought you would be delighted to hear that Summer really enjoyed the stand at the Barlara table in Ireland. So with that, I'll pass this back over to Catherine, and it's called the YL Zone. By the way, the YL Zone is the name of the forum in the QRZ forums, and it's kind of neat. It's small, it's simple, but it's fun. Anyway, I'll send this back over to Catherine, and Lynette, this is AG4YL.
Yeah, thanks, Melanie. Yes, I have met Summer and her sister. We just got chased up there on subs, or should I say our secretary does, who is I think the RSGB representative, I believe, in Northern Ireland. Her husband is. So, well, we've been without a secretary now for ever since our Jackie passed over, because her husband took over the membership secretary. Martin, because he's been trying to do both. Bless his heart. But we've now got a secretary now. We'll see how she goes. I can't remember her surname. Sharon, 2 India 1. Not used to a call yet. No, it's gone. It hasn't imprinted itself on my brain yet. It will do. But Jackie will be a tough act to follow. Mike Zero, you are. Very nice lady. And of course, you all know Jackie and you all know Sheila. So, thanks there, Cat and Marnie. Back to you there, Cat.
All right, Jenny, very good. Well, thanks for updating us on the Barlara information. It's always nice to hear how the group is doing and stay up to date on their activities and the like. And thanks, Melanie, for clarifying that. With some comments, and I did get the YL Zone QRZ forum link, so that you guys can check it out and join the forum, have some fun, play around, and meet some gals over there. It's a lot of fun. All right, very good. So I think we've got everybody. 33 April. We'll catch you next week, hopefully. And we have a few minutes left, so I thought I'd touch on this article that Susie, N8CGM, has suggested we check out and maybe bring up on the net. So I'm glad that we're able to do that. So for you gals that get it, it's in the November QST for this year on page 74. And I thought this was pretty cool, too, so I thank Susie for bringing this up and suggesting it. Top 10 reasons not to operate in that contest. And when you hear that, you're like, what? And then the subtitle is, and of course, solutions to help you overcome these common excuses for not getting on the air. So I think it's great. I would encourage you, print it out, put it up in your shack somewhere, and when you kind of get that feeling on any one of these, you can kind of review it, check it out, and get that extra encouragement you need to just go ahead and pick up that mic or grab that key and get on the air. So there were 10 here listed, and number 10 is too busy to operate that contest. So, of course, it's suggested that obviously all of us as hams have to balance home responsibilities and non-ham interests, so just operate when you can. Remember, you don't have to be on for the entire contest. Pick a category or a single band that's not active at all hours. So just get on and play briefly if you like. If you only have 30 minutes to participate in a contest, fine. Just spend 30 minutes participating and have fun. Do it if you enjoy contesting. There we go. Had to reset there. The next one, number 9, I only operate my favorite mode or band. Well, guess what? There's a contest for any band or mode you might enjoy from 160 meters to Hellschreiber. We know that Nisi likes to talk about Feldhell, so participate in that event. Find a contest that hits right in line with either what band your antenna will operate on, or your radio only works on certain bands, or you have the best kind of luck on certain bands or modes, then fine. Only play in contests that operate in those. That's no problem there. Number 8, my station's not competitive. Plenty of people just operate for fun. You know, we call them casual operators. Just get on and have fun. You don't have to be in it just to work as fast as you can. And you know, there are folks that like to get on and you know, you'll hear them when you tune around. They don't chat. They just work contact after contact after contact after contact because they're in it for the competition of the contest. That you don't have to operate that way. You can be more casual, and there are other people that will operate in a more casual manner. So guess what? If you like to chat and take your time contesting, fine. The people that also like to chat and play when they contest will find you and will work you, and they'll have a little nice QSO with you. There's no rush. Just because it's a contest doesn't mean you have to hammer away at it and not enjoy a good QSO with somebody as you're contesting. Number 7, I'm too old. Well, here's an example. Joe, W7QN has been licensed since 1939, is active in almost every major contest, makes hundreds of CW and phone contacts, and loves it. How about the opposite spectrum? I'm too young. Well, check out the Youth on the Air youth contesting program in Europe, Young Amateurs Communications ham team. There are also many older hams that love to chat with the younger hams and help them along when they have questions. So no worries there. Let me pause for reset. Here's a good one. How about the bands are too crowded? Well, you know, a busy band means you got a lot more people that you can try and work. So that also can be encouraging too. This isn't mentioned here, but that means your equipment or your antenna might be working really well. Propagation's really good. That's awesome. That means you've got lots of chances to work many stations. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Alicia that played in CQ Worldwide and made contacts with countries she didn't have in her log yet. So it's awesome. Busy bands are great. How about sunspots are down? This is a good one, especially right now. Guess what? Even in low sunspot times, there are some interesting openings that might happen on 10, 15, and 20 meters. Of course, 40, 80, and 160, which are as good as they were during the peak sunspot cycle. So there's always somebody that you'll be able to hear. So check it out. You won't know till you get on and tune around and listen. How about antenna restrictions? Well, this was a pretty good one. Guess what? Alicia's overcome that. She found a way to work and play radio and made some contacts and had a blast doing it. So most areas are required to permit flagpoles. Guess what? They make great vertical antennas. Use them for your verticals and mount them up there. There's nothing wrong with that. Mobile antennas, you can sit just about anywhere. Perhaps you can put it up, operate, and take it back down when you're done. Lots of options. There's always a way to find a workaround. How about number 2, I don't have a station. Guess what? If you're a member of a local ham club and you've got folks that love to contest in that club, they will be more than happy to help you get on the air, either by bringing a setup to you or inviting you into their home or their ham shack to play radio. Some clubs have a club station at a location, either where they have their meetings or they have a clubhouse or whatever. So you can find a way. When you want to play, you'll find a way to play. And we've got one more here. Let me pause for reset. All right, and last but not least on this list, I don't have any contest experience. Well, just like we covered with I don't have a station, you got a local club. Some actually are focused on contesting. They're contest clubs. Guess what? They'll help you along. You can also check out contestuniversity.com. Check their website. There's lots of great information on ARRL for new hams and how to get started with contesting. Ask us here on the net or other nets that you participate in. Hams love to help other hams, so just ask any questions that you might have. And also in a lot of contests, they have websites from the people that sponsor that with great information to help you along. And again, just get on and listen. And so have the rules in front of you. You see the exchange listed, then listen and see if you can follow along as the exchange. And having a good logging program specifically for that contest can also be a great help as you learn and improve your contesting skills. I thought this was great, well-rounded. It was short to the point and very helpful. And again, I encourage you to print this out, put it in your shack, and take a look. And when one of these pops in your head and you're like, I think I'll participate it, but, you know, I'm too busy. You know, well, look at number 10. So I think it was great. I thank Susie again for bringing this up and pointing this out and suggesting that we cover it. Lots of fun stuff. All right, we still have just about 5 minutes left. Does anybody else have a comment or a question or something that you wanted to bring up for the net this evening? If you'd like to do that, please call now. It's AAC4YL.
AG4YL here. Catherine brought up a couple of things that reminded me of an article I just read in QST, the ARRL publication. It's called RF Gain, Doing More with Less. And it's something that ties in with a couple of things that she mentioned earlier. One was the things that we learned when we were doing Parks on the Air, you know, operating portable, and ties in with what Nisi was saying as well about how you can learn so much from doing it about your station, and also ties in with what she just mentioned about contesting and the bands being crowded and being able to hear people. RF Gain, there's I didn't understand how to use this on the first radios. I just sort of played around with it and figured that out. There's always on your radio, there's a thing called RF gain, and usually it's on max. It just defaults to max. It's on max. It's turned all the way up, and it's supposed to stay there, right? Oh, no. If you if you pull down your RF gain, a lot of the noise and the weak signals and everything will disappear, and those strong signals will stay right up there. Your meter is going to say, what? And you can be like, hold on, why is my bar going up to S2, S3, S4 as I'm turning this down? It's okay, don't worry about it. Especially if you have a signal, and you're contesting, you have a signal, and that it's coming in at like an S5, and you've got a noise floor down there that's like S3. If you want to hear that person at S5, you turn that RF gain down so that bar or your meter comes up to about S3, S4. It'll quiet that whole noise floor, it'll cut it out, and that signal, that S5 signal, will just sit right on top of it all, and you'll be able to pick it out. So I just saw that article, and I thought, wow, someone's actually talking about something that both Catherine and I discovered by accident about the RF gain. It's usually a secondary knob on your radio. Most people ignore it. Most people max it out and don't touch it. And you don't need to use your preamp either. If you must, to really bring those signals up, use it in conjunction with your RF gain and tweak both of them. Hit that preamp button and then twiddle around with your RF gain button. But that RF gain button, have fun with it. You'll be surprised at what it can do and how it can help you hear a station, especially if they're in a contest or if there's a lot of other stations, or you're trying to, let's say you're in a listing, trying to work and get yourself into a pile-up. You got a DX station up there you really want. The DX station's loud, but there's a bunch of people you can hear crowding around it. If he's loud, or she's loud, as it were, go ahead and use that RF gain and pull that DX station up so all that distraction around them can go away, and you can really hear that DX station and work it a lot better. But play with the RF gain. It does not have to be on max. Try bringing it down a little bit, turning a little counterclockwise. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. Like I said, I was reminded of that article, and I thought it was really neat and something that we had discovered accidentally playing Parks on the Air. That's it for me. I'll send this back over to Catherine and Annette. This is AG4YL.
Yeah, Lucy was trying to work Lucy, Yankee Victor 5 Alpha Whiskey in Venezuela. And of course I said, well, I'm in the contest, Lucy. I've known her for quite a while now. And do you think we could work each other? No way. We tried and tried and tried. We just couldn't. We would, because there would have been a multiplier for me, and also because I just want South America and Oceania for my continents award, and then I've got it, because it's got to be confirmed, hasn't it? Worse luck. So I will get myself a South America, and I will get my Australia again. Why can't everyone confirm themselves and not remain? Oh, never mind. But yeah, it was good fun. Even though then, of course, on Sunday afternoon I heard the trying to get into 7199 Hotel Zulu 1, Hotel Zulu, the one that she took her father's call sign. And it wasn't easy to get into her either. But yeah. But of course, she went as quickly as she came up. Shame, but there you go. Back over to you.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks, Melanie, for that information. And Jenny, yeah, what you could do is try sending them a QSL card, and I don't know, a couple bucks or something, maybe to help cover postage. But definitely send them a QSL card and ask them to send you one back. You know, if you don't have postage, go ahead and at least send them an envelope already addressed to you to make it easy for them. That way all they got to do is put their QSL card in the envelope you provide them. And, you know, maybe a couple dollars to help cover the postage might help get a response and get them to send you one. I know Melanie still needs Hawaii to confirm. A lot of them don't use Logbook of the World, so she hadn't had them confirm, and I think that's the last state that she needs for worked all state. So, you know, sheesh. So, yeah, just a suggestion, maybe send a QSL card. So, all right, very good. I think that about covers it. Oh, and Jenny, I did email you that list, so it should be in your email. So just email me if you don't get it, ac4yl@arrl.net, and just let me know. All right, very good. So, again, ladies, please don't forget to post to our WildOpNet Facebook group, continue net topics and questions there in between weekly nets. Encourage you to participate and post all ham radio-related questions, adventures, experiences, etc. to the wildopsgroups.io group page. We'd like to thank Lauren, KC9ZHV, for live streaming and recording this net whenever possible and making it available to all through YouTube. We'd also like to thank Alara for the use of this Echolink conference node, the North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their drop-in chat room, and all LinkedIn listening YLs and alike for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL, closing the WildOpNet, returning the Alara Conference node back to normal use. 33 ladies, feel free to come back in about an hour for the MinnoNet if you like. Take care. We'll catch you all next week, and we'll post a reminder on the time change. 33 ladies.